do I begin to introduce our next speaker. Lev Parnas is a truth teller, an author, and former Trump insider turned whistleblower. He provided key evidence in Trump's first impeachment and later testified under oath before Congress during the sham impeachment attempt against President Biden, exposing lies behind the MAGA-led effort to rewrite reality. Lev is the subject of the Rachel Maddow documentary From Russia with Lev, and his explosive memoir, Shadow Diplomacy, pulls back the curtain on the shadowy details that continue to threaten our American democracy. He has spoken the truth, even when it put his freedom and safety on the line, refusing to stay silent in the face of lies. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Lev Parnas.
Hey everyone, I know it's hot out there and it's been a long day, and I want to start off by saying, first of all, thanks for all these great organizations like 5051, Indivisibles, Boca Raton Indivisibles, Palm Beach, and everybody else. Louder, is that better? All right, we're getting there. First of all, I want to start off by saying this. Thank you, because what I've seen today, from somebody that's known Donald Trump for a very long time, has been in Mar-a-Lago plenty of days. I can tell you I've never driven up Mar-a-Lago like we've driven up today and not seen one mega crowd. I've never seen such a powerful reunion. It wasn't just Democrats, it wasn't just independents, it was Republicans, it was mega people that voted for him that were standing there, but they didn't have their flags, because the flags that we had today were no king flags. They were American flags. They were flags that we took back today. Because today, folks, it's not about Donald Trump, it's not about his birthday. Today it's about our flag. It's called Flag Day. And I need you to understand, it matters more than ever, especially now. Because on June 14th, 1977, right in the middle of the Revolutionary War, the Second Continental Congress passed a resolution creating what would become the United States American flag. It had 13 stars, 13 stripes, and it became a symbol for a new kind of a country. A country not ruled by kings, but a country ruled by its people. And ever since that day, this flag has stood for something bigger than any one of us. Not just for war, not just for pride, but for freedom. The freedom to speak, the freedom to question, the freedom to protest, and most importantly, the freedom to live without fear that your government is going to come after you. That flag flew over Valley Forge in the bitter winter of '77. It blew over the Nazi ramparts in Normandy in 1944. It was lifted proudly by civil rights marchers in Selma in 1965. And today it stands for something greater, because it doesn't belong to one man, it doesn't belong to one movement or one party. It belongs to every single one of you out there, every single American who's ever dared to dream. So before we go any further, folks, I want to do something that we need to do immediately. We need to honor this flag right away. We need to be able to do it the right way. So I ask of you, those that you could rise, please rise. And stand with me as we do a Pledge of Allegiance. Not for politicians, not for crowns, but for our republic. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, folks. So for those of you that might not know me, I know a lot of you do already know my story, but my name is Lev Parnas. I was born to Jana and Aaron Parnas. My parents, they fled the Soviet Union in 1976. We immigrated, we escaped tyranny. Who became to this country with nothing but faith in the American dream. We had no money, we didn't speak the language. We had no connections, but we had one thing we believed. We believed that here in America, your future is what you build. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I was taught to love this country. Yeah, Brooklyn in the house. New York. Yeah. And I was born to stay out of trouble, but obviously it didn't work that way too good. Politics was for the powerful, not for kids like me. But I built a life. I became a citizen. I became a father of 7 incredible kids that are born and all in America, who, thank God, never had to live under the shadow of dictatorship, but unfortunately are watching it play out in front of our eyes today. I never thought I'd get involved in politics until that day, that fateful day that I sat down for dinner with Donald J. Trump. I'll never forget that dinner because that day changed my life, and I think it changed the life of our country as we see it today. I was mesmerized, I was Trumpanized. Folks, I was cultinized. I was pulled. The gravitational forces of what I know now was called a cult. And that's what it is. MAGA is a cult. A movement built not on principles, but on power, loyalty, and fear to one man and one man only. And I wasn't just part of it, folks. I became one of its leaders. I worked directly with Rudy Giuliani. I was sent at Trump's direction to Ukraine in 2018 to dig up dirt on Joe and Hunter Biden. I was part of that smear campaigns. I helped coordinate media narratives. I sat in those strategy calls. I met with Fox News executives. I wasn't on the outside looking in, folks. I was on the inside of that machine. I know these people better than most, and not just Donald Trump, but his inner circle. I know the handlers, the enforcers, the architects of the very authoritarian system that we're fighting for today. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm speaking up. And that's why I'm risking everything, including my freedom, to be here to tell you what I know. Because very few people in this country know what I know. Very few people have seen what I've seen. And even fewer are willing to tell the truth about it, because telling the truth today comes with a very big cost. But folks, I paid that cost. When I stopped lying for Donald Trump, when I refused to go along with the cover-ups, and I was arrested, I was discredited, I was a cast out. They tried to destroy me, they tried to destroy my family. But the most important thing, what they tried to do is keep me silent. But I told them I wouldn't stay silent, and I didn't stay silent. I testified in front of Congress. I told them the truth, first during Trump's first impeachment, and again when the Republicans tried to impeach President Joe Biden. Because folks, truth, it's not about red or blue. Truth is not about being a Republican or a Democrat. Truth is plain and simple truth. And if we lose that, we lose everything. You know, Martin Luther King once wrote a letter while he was in 1963, while he was sitting in a prison cell in Birmingham, Alabama. And I know that very well because I also sat in a prison cell one day writing letters. And I want to quote him from something he said. He said, "We know through a painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. For months, for years, since the day of my arrest, I've been warning every single one of you that this man never planned to let go of the power. He doesn't care about the polls, he doesn't care about public opinion, and he doesn't care what the courts say or what the Constitution says, because in his mind, none of it applies to him. He sends the Marines into American cities not to protect us, folks, but to silence us. He ignores court orders like they're optional. He surrenders himself with loyalists who exist solely to carry out his will. Because this isn't leadership, it's called authoritarianism. And when a judge ordered him to bring back Gilmar Abreu Garcia back from El Salvador, he didn't hesitate. He flatly refused, folks, and nothing happened, no checks, no balances, no consequences. We're not living in a democracy right now, we're living in a dictatorship. I've said this before and I'll say it again. This is not about politics anymore. This is about our survival, survival of our democracy, our freedom, and the very way of life. And I want you to really think for a second when we say we can fix it in 2026. Listen to someone that's telling you right now, if we don't act now, we're not going to see 2026. We need to act now and let our voices be heard, and let Congress hear, and let our senators and congressmen see what's going on, because there are people in there that still haven't sold their soul to the devil, that still are going to be here. So that's why make your voices be heard. Don't be threatened or scared by them. Because remember, once a dictator consolidates power, there is no next time, and there's no redo. As Franklin Delano Roosevelt said in his inaugural address, the only thing we have fear is fear itself. And folks, we're not waiting for a coup anymore. It's already happened. Quietly, piece by piece, court by court, institution by institution, and now it's happening in plain sight. Every authoritarian movement in history has started the same way. Control the press, silence the critics, punish the truth tellers. Donald Trump understands that better than anyone, and trust me, I know him very well. That's why he's gone to war, not just with the protesters, not just with the immigrants, but with the truth itself. You've watched this unfold. You've watched journalists being threatened, media platforms taken down. Just this week, ABC folded and suspended a reporter for daring to speak the honesty about what's happening in this country. Benjamin Franklin once said, whoever could overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech. But in the face of all that, something incredible is rising. And I want you to see there is hope. It's called independent journalism. Journalists who don't answer to billionaires or lobbyists, who risk it all, report what matters. And I want to speak to you folks. I want to speak to you from the heart right now, because this isn't political for me, this is personal. Because one of those independent journalists is my son, Lev Parnas. And he works with an incredible group of people at Midas Touch. Midas Touch Network. What they do, folks, they don't do it for clicks, they don't do it for fame. They do it because they believe in the power of truth. And I can tell you one thing, I couldn't be more prouder than my son Aaron. But it comes with a hefty price. Because he is my son and because he's telling the truth, Trump targets him. He attacks Aaron, he smears the Midas team. He tries to brand them as enemies. Why? Because they're effective, folks. Because they reach millions of people. Because they can't be bought and they won't be bought and they won't be bullied. This is what real journalism looks like. And I want you to understand it's not about access. It's about holding power accountable, even when it's dangerous to yourself. And I'm going to say this loud and I'm saying this clear. If we lose independent journalism, we lose ability to know what's happening. And if we lose that, we lose our democracy, folks. I just got off the phone with Aaron and Ben from Midas Touch, and I just wanted, they gave me a message to tell you that Aaron's not backing down, the Midas Network's not backing down, I'm not backing down, and neither should you. Because if you want to hear the truth, none of us can back down. So I ask you, support them, share their work, and protect them most of all, because that's what we have to be able to know what's going on. Because in a world where lies are weaponized, truth becomes the revolutionary. I want to talk to you about something that happened this week that, I can't believe that I saw play out in front of my eyes. We saw the Marines in Los Angeles not to protect us, but to control us. We saw Congresswoman McIver indicted on 3 counts in New Jersey for what? Doing her job, folks. We saw Alex Padilla, sitting senator, tackled, handcuffed, manhandled, and thrown down, all because he wanted to ask a question, folks. And here in Florida, our home, our backyard, gets even worse. Because our governor, unfortunately, I know very well, for those of you that know me, I know him too well. A few days ago when Ron DeSantis, the governor of our state, was asked about these protests, his response was, Florida drivers who feel threatened by protesters blocking the streets have the right to flee for their safety. And if they hit someone in there, it's their fault, not the drivers. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? A sitting governor in the state of Florida is telling you it's okay to go ahead and protest there. The words they're choosing is important. They're not talking about agitators, they're not talking about criminals. They're saying protesters because protesting is our right. It's our First Amendment and that's what they're taking away. So watch and listen to what they're saying. And it gets worse, folks. It gets worse because then we got Sheriff Wayne Ivey from Brevard County, Florida, coming in and literally aggressively telling he's going to put protesters down, threatening to kill people. Are you kidding me? This is where we live. This is the country. This is where. That's why I said, when the pundits out there, when the media tells you, are we going to be in a constitutional crisis? Shut up. We're living in a constitutional. We are fighting for our freedom and democracy. Because this isn't law and order, this is authoritarianism, like I told you, and Trump didn't do it alone. I want to name some names, some enablers that are keeping him there. Because if it wasn't for them, believe me, we wouldn't be here today. First of all, Speaker Mike Johnson, he's turned the Congress into a megaphone. Yeah, and then we got Vice President J.D. Vance, Elon's boy. He once compared Trump to Hitler, remember that? The American Hitler. Now he cheers him on and talks about like Ukraine is the devil, really. And then we're going to come to some of our homegrown people. Remember Senator Little Marco Rubio? Well, now he wears many hats. He's the Secretary of State, and you'll never believe this guy literally celebrated Russia Day a few days ago with Putin's men while Ukraine burns. Think about it, yeah, traitor. And then we have our own Attorney General Pam Bondi. Pam, she loves to shield Trump's cronies while prosecuting his enemies. And then to kill it all off, you got Pete Hegseth. Yes, folks, Pete Hegseth. I remember going into the Trump room, watching him there, sit there, babble his way out, and now he's purging our military. He's purging the Pentagon for anyone who won't kneel down to Donald Trump, folks. And the media is not reporting any of this. I want you to know that the guardrails are gone. The courts, the DOJ, the media are all filled with his loyalists. And I know it's scary, and I know, so you say, so what's left? I'm going to tell you what's left. You, us, the people! Because that's what he was scared of. Because tyrants, they always forget one thing, and the most important thing, that the people have the power, not them. I want us to look back at history for a second. Remember when women were arrested, beaten, force-fed for demanding to vote? They didn't stop, they continued, and they won. Civil rights heroes marched through the hate, through fire hoses, through dogs. Didn't stop them, they won. Immigrants, we were told to go back where you came from. Instead, we wove themselves into the very fiber of this country. And every time that flag flew, not as a symbol of oppression, but as a beacon of hope. I want to say Judge Lerner once said very wisely, quote, "Liberty lies in the heart of the women, men and women. When it dies there, there's no constitution. There's no law. No court can save it." So you ask, what do? I'm going to tell you. We speak out. We speak out on social media. We speak out in our community. We go to the town halls. We reach out to your local representative, making your voices be loud and heard. We organize, we build coalitions, we join together, not stand against each other. We support, we protect each other, we defend the truth. And then the most important thing, folks, is we support real journalism, like the Midas Touch, like Aaron, and everybody else out there willing to speak truth to power. And most importantly, if we get our chance to vote in 2026, make sure you go out there and vote and make every single vote count in your local, your state, your federal elections, because every election counts, because our life is counting up. But above all, I want to say this. Don't be afraid. Don't let them scare you. Don't let them intimidate you. Because they want fear. They want silence. They want us to give up. But we're not going anywhere. Because we've come too far. This is our flag. And it's not just a cloth. It's every American, whoever stood up, whoever dared to fight for injustice, for truth, for freedom. So today, folks, I want to ask each and every one of you together, let's join together. Let's write the next chapter of the story. Let us pledge again every single day to defend our republic. Let us pledge to speak truth to power even when it's dangerous to us. And let us never, ever bow down to a king. Because there will never be no kings in America, not now, not ever. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out today, because what I saw today in driving by Mar-a-Lago, not only with the enthusiasm, but the crowd, by the partisanship, by everybody being together, joining to try to save our democracy. But the biggest part, because I've already spoken to people very close to Donald Trump, and I can tell you he's having a very bad birthday. Because there's a lot of protests happening today around the country, but this one hit him hard. This is his home. This is where he comes back after Washington, D.C. And what he saw today, he saw the power of the people. He saw each and every one of you out today, not with mega flags, not supporting him, but standing there telling him that we're done with you. There is no more kings in this country. So I want to thank each and every one of you. God bless you. God bless every single one of you. God bless America and the United States. And thank you for having me. And there is no kings. No kings. No kings. No kings.
Let's hear it for Lev Parnas!